Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the No Cap Recap, your honors edition. You already know it's BZB, and you already know we got Nene in the virtual building, and
Yeah, I'm at
yeah,
home, but I'm in a building.
you in A
Okay.
building. I know that's right. I know that's right. Presented by Pod and Color Studios for sure. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So today we're going to go over episode 5 of Your Honor. If you thought it was getting any less intense, you're wrong, because we're only getting more intense. And
hmm
um, and yeah, that's how they coming. So, Nay, how about you start it off?
Okay, so episode 5 begins with Michael walking through the street after he left the party. He's still in his suit, and he just kind of like, that was so much. So he is getting texts from, she's in his phone as his bestie, but it is Olivia,
Olivia.
just kind of asking, where are you? What's going on? Remember, he flushed the listening device that was in his stay down the toilet. So she has lost track of him, and the phone is the only connection that she has to him. But as he's walking away, he drops the phone in a puddle, and you can assume that he is just kind of done with this whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Big Mo and Eugene sitting in the back of a car. Remember, Eugene has come back to New Orleans from Houston and gave the money that Lil Mo told him to guard with his life back to Big Mo. How did he get the money? She finds out that he has been busy.
Yeah, you good. Keep going.
Oh, okay. That she has been he's been hiding out with her sister down in Houston. And she makes mention that, how difficult it is to be a person that outsmarts the whole city. Remember, the city thinks he's dead. Everybody else thought he was dead, but we know that he didn't accomplish all of this on his own. Lil
Who helped
Mo
them?
Lil
Mm-hmm.
Mo helped him by not killing him when he was supposed to, but sending him down to stay in Houston with the auntie. So
Mm-hmm.
Big Mo, I could imagine, is feeling out of the loop and also pretty pissed off at Lil Mo about all of this. And her money almost got taken. So
That part.
she
And wait, one thing I want to add real quick. I can't remember if it's this episode or the next episode. We'll talk about it when it comes. But I felt like Big Mo is just not in touch with reality a little bit. Like, how did you think that this kid did all of this? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? On his own.
Yeah, for sure. She definitely she rules from up high, and she's not really in the mix with too many of the decisions that are impacting her.
I would agree.
So back at the Baxter Hotel or wherever they had the party at, Gina is now in chef mode. She is down in the kitchen, whipping
I
up a
mean, got
little
the coat on
dessert.
and everything.
Right, she busted her white coat, so she's making some cannoli. Um, and the whole she wants the whole family to come down, and they noticeably Fia is missing. She was. They say that she was upset after the speech that Jimmy gave at the party where he said that Charlie was gonna be Baby Rocco's godfather.
Blew
Um,
everybody.
so she's gone, and Jimmy's like, I'm good on the cannoli tonight. I've had enough cake. And Gina is not having. She's like, this is a tradition. Eat the fucking cannoli. So
And what he
he
do?
ends up eating it, but like it was a power move for her because I think she is interested in that. She likes to keep a lot of the tradition, but she is
She
also
does. I didn't think about that.
yeah, she's pretty dangerous also. So maybe the tradition and the family aspect is kind of a cover up for who she really is. So she gonna play
Mm.
her part. I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna make this cannoli, but we gotta talk. So
Mm-hmm. Cause she threw
that's
Fias in
kind
the
of what that
garbage.
was.
I mean, with the
Yeah,
plate
yeah.
too. Like,
She was, man, she was hot. Um, so that's the opening scenes.
yeah.
So next we got Olivia showing up to Michael's house. We know Michael was staying with his mother-in-law, but
Right.
Elizabeth. But the house that he's in, the windows that are, it's pretty much like the whole house is surrounded by windows. She's knocking on the window. He sees her and he didn't even budge to go let her in. I think she let herself in. Honestly, I don't know if you remember that, but
I don't remember
she
that.
got in the house some way. Um, and she's just upset with him because him throughout the night. But she's looking for details from the party. She sent him there with a mission, and now I need you to report back.
Yeah.
So uh Michael gives her a rundown of things that happened throughout the night, including that Carmine Conti is back and
Mm.
he was at the party. Also, that Jimmy put a gun to his head.
But she don't
They
care
took him
about
down to
that.
the basement. Took him down to the basement, roughed him up a little bit, put a gun to his head. And her response to all of that is, wait, Carmine Conti is back in town? Like, she didn't
Right.
even care that he almost died. Um,
Yeah.
and he had a death wish that night anyway. Like,
Anyway,
he wished that
take
Jimmy
me
would
out,
have killed him.
cuz.
He actually asked him. He asked him to
Yeah.
go ahead and do it, but Jimmy didn't. Um, and before she leaves, she asks, was he low key relieved when Jimmy lowered the gun? And I just thought that was like an important point because she really does not know how Michael is truly processing all of this. I don't think she knew that if he had it his way, he probably would have been taken out the night before.
All right, because she couldn't hear because he took out the stay.
Yeah, yeah. So she didn't hear the interaction, but
So Big Mo and Olivia are kind of the same in that regard.
out of touch.
Yeah, totally out of
Read
touch.
the room.
Yeah.
Read.
Also, I feel like this is the first time that we see Michael actually looking like himself, like he was in the first season, not so
Yeah.
frail. He actually standing up tall and he's using his
Hmm.
full voice, even though he doesn't know what's going on, nor does he want to be in these situations. But first episode versus now, it's it's our old Michael.
Yeah, he's starting to come on back to himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, meanwhile, at the Baxter house, they are having breakfast with Grandpa Conti,
Mm,
and he is overbearing and kind of overstepping his boundaries. Like he
a
made
lot.
comment to Jimmy when he came down the stairs, like, "Oh, it's a late start for somebody that's a businessman." Um, and just kind of being like a mean grandparent sitting at the table.
Right.
He also asks, "What is the plan on acquiring the land?" Remember, they are trying to purchase waterfront land. They're kind of having a little pushback from the mayor. That was part of Jimmy's plan of inviting Charlie Figueroa to the party
Yep.
and trying to show that he was on his side. But during this conversation, Grandpa Conti says, the business is built on the Conti name. And I think, too, that that's probably some of Gina's, um, why she is as, I don't want to say aggressive, but, she puts her nuts on the table a lot
A lot.
with Jimmy. And I think it's because she knows that her family is the reason the things that kind of open the doors for the
Yeah.
Baxter family to be who they are. So, you know, she kind of does pull the strings.
Yeah.
And so they realize that Mayor Figaro is kind of in the way with impeding their progress a little bit. And Gina says, well, there are ways around that. We can get a new mayor. I honestly think that they are considering killing Charlie
Yeah.
because Grandpa Conti says, we've hunted bigger game than the mayor and hunted and looking at it as game or some kind of animal to be killed.
Right. In their
And
line
they
of
might kill. They
business.
might smoke that fool.
Right. They might smoke that fool. Exactly. Correct
it's
though.
not. It's not above them to smoke that fool.
No, not at all.
So, um, so Charlie is back in his office. His aide is upset about the party and some of the photos that are floating around. There's photos of
Mm.
him and Jimmy, and his the constituents did not vote for you for this. Um, and they hadn't really delivered on many of their campaign promises at that time. So, seeing him out at a party didn't seem like a good move. Didn't seem
Yeah,
like it
that
was
didn't
something
help your
that,
case at all. Especially
yeah,
he talk
yeah,
about
you out
red
here looking.
tape, and he's like, they don't care about red tape. That just means you can't get it done.
Exactly. Like, you are supposed to be the most powerful here, and this is what you're doing. So
Yeah.
there's that. So now we got Detective Costello. She's back at the police station. One of the police officers or detectives calls her in and tells her that a guy came in with a pretty interesting story. Not came in, he was arrested. And he shared a pretty interesting story that she may be interested in hearing about, because it may lend some information to something that she's working on. They
Mm.
don't quite specifically say what it is,
Right.
but we will find out later.
Yes, we will.
Michael then went down to the butcher shop to try to quit. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
Michael, where do you think you're going? Like, it's not like he has. I
A
mean, you're
lot of
living with your
options.
mother-in-law. You ain't got no options. Like, you better
Right.
try to get that little coin and live a disguised life.
Mm-hmm.
But while he's there, the owner guy, was like, so I felt bad for him because he's like, "Are you kidding me? We already shorthanded. Like, at least could
Exactly.
you finish? Could you finish your
For the
shift for
day.
today?"
Just give me for
Yeah,
the day.
yeah, and he did.
He
So
did.
yeah, he
Because he's
does.
an
So, but he
honorable
never
person.
quite.
Kinda.
He didn't tell him that he quit. He
No,
was
but
like,
the butcher, he definitely knew that he was though. Just
"Yeah."
how he
Well,
was
he said,
coming
I
in.
was just coming down. I was coming down to help. I mean, to thank you."
Yeah,
Past
all
tense.
right. I know, right? You know what that means.
hmm
Um, yeah.
So Charlie is meeting with a community investment group, and the
Mm-hmm.
members happen to be black.
All
And
black.
he all black, right? So he is mentioning to them that there is this plot of land that the Baxters are looking to bid, and he needs someone to bid against the Baxters.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, they are not interested in it, because the Baxter name comes with, I think, a little
Blood.
fear for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were not jumping at the opportunity. And Charlie kind of gives them more information about how it could be something that's good for the city.
Mm-hmm.
And we really don't know how that ends, but you can see that it's maybe something in the works for that group to start bidding.
Yeah, absolutely. And the aide looks happy as well. Like we doing what we set out to
Now,
do.
this is what the people want. This is
Exactly.
why they,
Not pictures with
yeah,
Jimmy
this is why
Baxter.
they want
What's wrong with you,
it.
man?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, um, Big Mo and her girlfriend. What's the girlfriend's name? Do you know?
Jazz singer number one. I don't know. I don't know her
Okay. Jazz singer number one and Big Mo
name. he
are down at the new club, and Big Mo has been able to purchase it, and so her girlfriend's just like, you always get what you want. What happens when you don't get what you want? And we know what happens when Big Mo don't get what she want, but Jazz singer number
right.
one don't know. So
Right.
she like,
And she
well,
kept
I
it
guess
real
we'll never
player.
know because it ain't happened
It
yet,
ain't happened
right? So
yet. I guess
yeah,
we
so I
ain't gonna
guess
find out.
not yet at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we got Papa Conti.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of Married to Medicine. You remember Contessa? Papa,
Contessa.
is it Contessa?
Contessa.
So Conti is in in Rocco's room, and he was kind of overcome with emotions. He was nervous about going down to the cemetery. We find out that is
yeah.
where his wife was buried. Also, they're
Mm-hmm.
buried together, and it's just bringing up some feels for him to go down there. And Gina says that she feels like things are slipping through her fingers when it comes to her and Jimmy's marriage.
Right.
And she kind of alludes that she is ready to, things are slipping through her fingers. She's ready to let it go. Grandpa Conti says, well, actually, you need to hold on tighter. She's like, I'm tired of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really want to do that. So Papa Conti, talks about how rough marriage can be and how him and his wife had some issues, but they're just, it wasn't public or maybe the kids didn't know about
The
it.
kids didn't know, right?
Uh,
Exactly.
yeah. And he believes that Jimmy is a lot like him, and that's kind of what attracted Gina to him. And, if he was out there just kind of flaunting things or being more flamboyant about things that are going on in their marriage, that probably wouldn't have attracted Gina to him.
Right.
Um, but Gina says she wishes that he was more like her father than he already is.
Mm.
And I think Gina kind of looks at Jimmy like, I'm trying to not use too explicit of words, but
Okay.
like a pushover, like a
Oh,
pushover,
put
and her
shover.
daddy,
Okay,
right?
right, right.
Exactly. And her daddy gets stuff done, so she ain't used to all this waiting around. But
Yeah.
there's a process for everything. Be
Yeah, and
patient.
I also felt like we never seen Gina so taken care of at this particular point because she just kind of like is able to just kind of like lay into him and just kind of like just collapse essentially,
Yeah.
and he has no ulterior motives. That's just his daughter, and it's like I'm gonna just just take care of my baby girl, and she feels that. So we never,
Although
I
I
don't.
don't know that he don't have no ulterior motives.
In this
I don't
moment we
trust him.
can't see, we in this particular moment we can't see it, and yeah.
I don't trust him.
Nah. I'm just talking about this particular moment she's able to
Yeah.
just fully, just like relax or just say
Just be
everything
with her
that's on her
daddy.
mind. Yeah, for sure, for sure. But
Yeah.
to Fia, she's always fighting. To Jimmy, it's a push and pull. To Carlo, she's
Mhm.
sending him on missions. She don't have anybody to just,
Just be
just be
herself
there
with.
for her. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. I don't feel bad for Gina, but maybe a little.
I don't know if I feel bad for Gina, but everybody need an outlet, you know.
True.
Yeah.
True. All right. Sophia shows up to Michael's job. She said that baby Rocco woke up and said he wants to see his grandpa today. And so Michael
Right, he about eight
tells
years
her,
old.
I know, right? That baby is old. But Michael tells her that he can't see her anymore. Having me in your life will not make things easy for you. And Fia is just kind of taken aback by it, obviously.
Hmm.
And Michael just walks away. There's not much discussion there. He just walks away and they're done. Lil Mo is brought back to New Orleans. They bring him to the trap, uh, and they handcuffed him to, what was that, like a banister or something?
It's like
Um,
yeah. I thought it was a bed, like a bed frame or something, but it could have been banister. Yeah.
yeah, something. He's handcuffed to, and he asked, "Can he use the restroom?" And they like, "No, you can go ahead and pee right there where you at."
Right.
And that's crazy because those are the same dudes that he was just like on missions with or whatever. But now, like, you're on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Um, so Eugene walks in with Lil Mo, um, and Lil Mo realizes that Eugene actually brought the money back. So up until then, he was under the impression that like the money was gone, the money was with Roderick, and that is the reason why Big Mo was upset with him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, really, Big Mo is upset. I guess she's upset for a lot of reasons, but because Eugene is still alive, because she did not know that Eugene was down there with her sister,
Mm-hmm.
because her money was just floating around and it
Mm-hmm.
just happened to have gotten back to her.
Yeah.
Um, and now she's in some mess with Roderick. So
Mm.
as this is happening, one of the guys in the room gets a call on the phone and they like, we got visitors outside. So it's Roderick.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he outside, he done pulled up uninvited. All the Desire guys go out, they pull guns on them. But as they're doing this, they kind of escorting Big Mo into the car. And Big Mo was like, down here in New Orleans, we don't really roll up at people establishments
Mm-hmm.
unannounced. And there was just a little discussion back and forth about what happens now because he has put in the order. I'm saying the order like it's
Yeah.
but he put in the order for the
Yeah.
drugs
For the drugs.
and and things have changed.
Yeah, tremendously.
Yeah. You got anything else from that scene? It really wasn't
um
anything.
I mean, this is where I feel like her reality is like, I don't know if she focuses on Jasmine singer number one, but before Roger or the guy came, the crooked baseball
Roger.
coach. Okay, before he came, he said Lil Mo said you screwed over the cartel, and then she grabbed him and said, "No, you screwed over the cartel." How did he screw? First of
This
all,
is a us thing now.
first of all, I came to you with the plan because bodies was dropping off of a Fenty pack being in the drugs. So I say, let me go from New Orleans to Houston. This is just a little recap for the people if you ain't check out
Mhm.
the previous episode. So he said, let me go to Houston, meet my cousin, because he got to connect. She said, okay, I'm with it. So now if you've been in black market business, you can't really call off nothing, bro. Like once you said it is done, you know what I'm saying? So then you say, "Give me the money back because I need to buy this club." How did you not think that that was going to have repercussions? Like
Yeah, you
that's the
should
part.
have been buying the club with a surplus of money.
Yeah, and then plus, like honestly, when you said come back, he was about to be on his way back. Like he was
Right.
in jail. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They got pinched or whatever. And then as soon as
Hmm.
he could, he called you, or did he not call her? Big U
He
called
called
her.
her. No, she called him when they were like, remember they were in the restaurant about to like
Right. Right. But I'm
get
saying
whatever.
right. After that though, but even okay, but even then though, he said, okay, like reluctantly, he said, okay, we on the way back. It's not like he said, man, you on your own. I'm finna
Yeah.
do this deal anyway. So I still don't necessarily feel like he was in the wrong about it because he was on the way back. They got into a fight. They got locked up. You know what I'm saying? So I just think she's being unreasonable.
She
So
is laser focused on what she
yeah, for sure.
yeah, she doesn't see anything but what she wants.
That's
All
crazy.
right. So Carlo comes to see Fia. She's in her hotel room and they just Fia's still pissed off from the night before, whenever that was, maybe it was a couple days before. And so they joke about killing their parents. Like, why don't we
Which is
just
kind of
kill them,
morbid, but
take the
this is
inheritance?
yeah, this is the Baxters.
Yeah, they're weird in that way. So they joke about killing killing them with a popsicle. Carlos like, I got an idea. You sharpen a popsicle and stab them with it, and all the evidence wipes away.
Melt
A
away,
great
right?
popsicle, goofball. Um, but Fia says that she's afraid that her son is going to turn out like the parents.
Yeah.
Um, and Carlo's like, well, I am more like them than you are. And so he'll have a chance. Maybe he'll be like you.
Yeah. He said, "Cause I'm like them already." So, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I saw a theme in these particular scenes. The one with Roderick and the one with Lil Mo and I'm sorry, Big Mo and Lil Mo was like keeping it in house.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was like, I don't want to take it up to the chain or whatever. And she's like, no, we don't need to do that. And then the same thing for Lil Mo, even though she's the head of it, so she wouldn't necessarily have anybody to like bring it to, I guess, other
Mm-hmm.
than police or whatever. But yeah, definitely like, and it's another example as we go along too.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, all right. So Michael, I got some doubling up of my notes, so I apologize for that. Michael shows up. No, Michael is working, so he obviously
Yes.
didn't quit. Back at the butcher shop,
Oh yes.
uh, and Jimmy shows up and threatens him
You.
about some stuff.
I was about to say, do you feel like it was an actual threat?
Well, I feel like it was, it was nice, nasty. Like, hey, I know we share a grandchild, so like, I gotta be cool with you, but like, you gotta give me what I want, and
I
what I
didn't really
want is your.
think about it like that.
You didn't? Okay, so
Mm-mm.
I need to hear a different point of view because I just see everything that Jimmy does as like not quite mean, but harsh.
Harsh. Yeah. Well, and the reason why I didn't think about it like that is because he talked about his father-in-law. I felt like at that
Mm.
point he was like, if Charlie does not, agree, then it's going to be somebody that's worse than me that goes to see him or gets in the mix. Again, another theme of keeping it in the house. Like, bro, I'm trying to tell you right now, before it gets out of here, like, you need to try to talk to Charlie. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah,
else I can't. Once it get out, it get out. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
sorry, y'all. Yeah, um, but he wants Charlie to give him what he wants.
You give, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Next scene, Lil Mo and Eugene talking. Um,
Oh yeah,
and he thinks that Big Mo is gonna eventually kill him. He tells Eugene like, "You are so dumb for coming back,"
you
and
are
Eugene like,
so
"Man, why
dumb.
am I in it?
Right.
Like, I thought I was doing something right, and here I am being told I'm dumb for just trying to help the cause." Like, she would have killed him had that money, been gone, whatever.
Yeah.
So, uh,
And he only know what he know. He didn't even know that she like didn't know that he was alive or whatever the case. So talking about Eugene. So he
right,
did the
right,
best thing possible, essentially.
exactly. He's
And they
just
trying to
following
talk
orders.
all right. He trying to talk all soft, and Big Mo is like right there. She can
Exactly.
hear everything.
So she comes over, and my note says she clearly displays that she will kill them. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, she was not treating him like her little nephew or whatever.
No.
Um, and so while this is happening, jazz singer number one walks in, and she saw that Lil Mo was tied up, and she left out very upset.
Yeah.
And very upset with Big Mo and is like, what's going on? That's your blood. So I think that she may know that there is some drug dealing going on, but she does not. Or what do you think? Do you think she know?
Yes, I do think she knows. We also know this from the next scene because she like, you know what I do, you know my business,
Mm.
don't ask, don't tell type of thing. You knew who I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
before you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You singing all in the club and you know you with a drug dealer, bro. What are you talking about? I
But
don't clock
I
in
think
nowhere.
she also is bothered by the fact that that's your
It's his
blood. Like
cousin,
that's what she said.
yeah.
That's your family. You don't treat your family like that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
She just remind me like a what is it? Like a hippie or something.
yeah, for
Like, girl,
sure.
don't you know drug dealers will do anything to anybody? What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
this is not all about love. Okay.
No.
The water is thicker around here. So,
Okay.
Olivia meets with Detective Costello, and she shares information that came from the guy who came in earlier, and they discuss how they're gonna figure out how to get um, Baxter, Jimmy Baxter.
Okay. Oh, right. Because that's when she handed her the file, right?
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
yeah. I didn't write that down, but yeah, I do remember that.
And that scene is a little hazy for me too, so I might have to go back and look at that. So Michael is down at Charlie's office,
Of
and
course he
he tells
is.
Charlie that he needs to go ahead and make that deal with Jimmy.
I think this is
Um,
just real quick. I think this is one of the best scenes of this episode.
it was,
Hmm.
it was for sure. So during this conversation, Michael shares his involvement with the feds. He kind of lets Charlie know that that's the reason why he's out, what he's there to do, and that his goal here is to protect Charlie.
Yeah.
Um, he also shares that when he was initially arrested after his son's death, he was overcome with grief, and he shared everything, including how Charlie was involved and how he helped to set up
Mm.
not set up Kofi, but he was the point of connection between the car and Kofi, and how it all went down.
Yeah.
um Charlie is super pissed off. Like, what? Like, and I feel like he probably more mad because he asked him a few times, like, am I clean and all this? Like,
Right.
and he didn't tell him. So
Nope.
he feels like the Baxters are taking advantage of him. They're doing all of this to get closer to what they want. He feels like Michael has taken advantage of him. And he told him to get your ass up out of here. I was like, oh man, not the besties. Them the real besties.
Yeah.
But I mean, it had to come out eventually. Um, but this makes me feel like season one, because this is a situation now. What wiggling are we gonna have to figure out how to do in order to keep us both clean, keep us
Yeah.
both from behind bars, or keep us
Right.
both alive on this side of the dirt? Like,
Hmm. And he said that too. He was
it could go
like,
a lot of different ways here.
"Yeah." He said, "You got me in between the government that could prosecute me and mafia that could kill me. So, like, bro,
Jeez.
what's you on?"
Decision.
Yeah.
All right. So the Baxters, the whole family, and Grandpa Conti are having lunch. Fia's trying to leave, but they won't let her. Um,
Right.
Papa
No, no,
Conti
no.
says this
Not
family.
they. Jimmy.
Well, yes. Yes,
And I bring
Jimmy.
that up because I have a point to make. And once we get done
Mm,
with this scene,
okay. So Papa Conti says that the family is dysfunctional. Jimmy explains why he mentioned Charlie and what he was trying to do during his speech, because he knows that's why Fia is still upset.
right?
Um, and she says that Rocco is not going to be baptized. And Gina says, well, he's going to be banished to hell. And she's just like,
That's so
but
dramatic.
they, yeah, but in some ways, people are like that.
Yeah.
Um, but they talk about it and they end up agreeing that he will be baptized, but Carlo's gonna be the godfather. Which, whew, I mean, I know she don't have a lot of options, but if you got to roll with Carlo, like,
Yeah.
girl. But go
Yeah.
make your point. Well, because I'm
I,
interested.
oh yeah. So I was just gonna say that this scene is very interesting because, in the breakfast scene in his own house, he was not at the head of the table,
Oh,
but
you're
Grandpa
acting like
Conti
sitting at
was.
the caboose. Remember that
Right.
from
But now here at the hotel, Jimmy is at the head of the table and he's really taking like control and command, and Gina was going to say something, but then she piped down. The grandpa, he was saying something at first, then he piped
uh-huh.
down. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got what they want, with the
Hmm.
baptism and also the straightening out of the Godfather. So he really felt
And I
like the
think
man.
there have been a few scenes where, like, Jimmy might take us off. I remember in season one where him and Fia was talking about, oh, Fia was being rude about religion to her mom.
Yeah.
And, at first Jimmy found it funny, but then when Fia kept going, like, when he puts his foot down, like, you better just listen.
But
And
but
that's
but I
kind of
feel
what
yeah.
happened here.
Hmm. I was just gonna say, but sometimes though, because we've seen in last episode before that, when he yoked Gina up, and he was
Oh
like, just
yeah,
and then she was like, yeah, no, I don't care about that, you know. So it's
yeah,
like it's just constant push and pull, man, constant
yeah.
push and pull. So yeah, but I found that interesting though.
Hmm. Eugene back at the trap is helping Lil Mo. He gave him a little water. Time is passing on here, and he done peed on himself, and they ain't gave him much nourishment.
Oh, he
Um,
did. Oh
Eugene,
wow.
this made me sad. Right, Eugene asked him if he was friends with Kofi, and uh, Lil Mo said, "Well, you can either be friends, you can either have friends, or you can have soldiers. You can't have them both."
Mm,
And so that kind of cut because it's like we know that Kofi was just used and he was kind
yeah.
of a sacrificial lamb, but like to
Yeah.
hear it in that way was like, man, y'all didn't care about him, and that's his brother. But
Yeah.
then he says, you should have had a brother to protect you from all of this or something
Yeah.
like that. And
Yeah.
so we've seen little hints of Lil Mo kind of showing us that he has a heart,
Hmm.
but he is in it playing a dangerous game.
Yeah. Super dangerous.
So Big Mo and Eugene walk away, and she asks him about Houston. Asks him, was her sister taking care of him? How was school? Did he plan on coming back? And Eugene is just like, nah, I'm just following. I'm here now, and I'm hoping
Right.
to.
Because, yeah, it's nothing here for me. So, no point of coming
Right,
back.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah. So she says, you going back to Houston tomorrow? Um, because we got to get you up out of here. Because remember, still everybody thinks he's dead. So after that, she tells Eugene to put his headphones on, and
Hmm.
she calls in the soldiers, and they beat Lil Mo. She tells him like it's blood. You know what it is? It's blood in, it's blood out, and
Woo.
they beat the slacks off him.
I thought she was
Um,
about to let him go. At first, because he brought out
I
that
thought she was
X-Acto
too, cause
knife, I thought
yeah,
she was
cause
about
she
to
cut
cut
the
him.
thing.
I
Hmm.
thought she was about to cut, like, slice his neck. And then I thought she was about to let him go. And then she's
Pump
like,
fakes all
yeah,
over the place.
man, all over the place.
Yeah, so she called the dogs in and let them beat the hell out of him.
Woo.
And then they monkey stomped him, and then they put him in a van,
Yep.
drop him off somewhere random, and he gets out the car and he is like barely able to walk, barely able to stand, probably some broken ribs. His face is like bubbled all up, like
Yeah, he got the pumpkin head special.
yeah, he got the pumpkin head
But
to look.
he lives to fight another day.
Yeah. Okay, the daddy on Friday.
Yeah.
You live. You live to fight another day. Stick you in with
Right.
that gun again. Sorry. Okay,
I'm a
so
man without it.
Jimmy and Charlie are talking in private. Jimmy apologizes for the Godfather business. Um, and says that so Charlie says he's gonna honor the contract, but with a few changes.
Yeah.
And some of the changes include like um having the diverse people with diverse backgrounds to do the construction, or
35%.
like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there has to be a certain amount of low income housing, has to be a school, a
Yeah.
library.
Livable wages he has to pay the people.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And Jimmy, they shake on it, and Jimmy accepts the deal. He also says that this is not going to be an all out purchase, that it
Right.
is just going to be a
A
leased
lease from the
waterfront.
city. Yep.
Um, yeah, at least from the city.
Yep.
But Jimmy goes ahead and accepts the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So Olivia, after this is done, Charlie calls Olivia to confirm that the deal is done,
Yep.
and Charlie feels like it's a win-win because, um, at worst, the Baxter family is found out and they go to jail,
Right.
or um, he employs a lot of people. The city is happy by the way that this project is handled, and it's a win-win for him.
Yeah.
Um, so they're back at the Baxter home, and Gina girl, Gina tried to like be all up on Jimmy. She trying to get some. She's
Right.
like, you had a long day, and you deserve to have a good night or something like that.
Right. So she busted wide open. Tell her
She
bring it
busted open,
back.
and Jimmy. I thought Jimmy was gonna play her. I wanted him to play her. Like, girl, you just doing that because like we signed the contract now, so we good. But
And the display of
Gina just
power
gonna.
from earlier. Nah, he beat it out the frame. He was trying to
He
what's
did
happening?
because he been wanting to. So
Yeah, it's been a minute for sure.
yes, remember they weren't even sleeping in the same room
She
or
was
the
taking
same
off.
bed or
Yeah,
whatever.
what was it? She was getting ready for her shower. I need you to turn around or get out the room or something
Right.
like that. Like, girl, what, man?
Yeah, he bored. Michael and Django have a moment over peanut butter. Um,
Yeah, really random.
yeah, it was weird. And Olivia is back at the door. She wants to know what Michael says to convince Charlie to move forward with the thing, with the deal. Michael says he's done being a puppet. I'm done with this. You got what you wanted. I'm done. And she like, you sure about that? And he's like, yep, I'm done.
Right,
And she picks up her phone and does a little texting. And
right,
then the doorbell rings.
right.
And Detective Costello comes on in like, oh, cool, you done? Because we had a deal here. So we could be done. But this is the
Right.
next step for you. Detective Costello is there to arrest him. And they take Michael down to the station. I was like, woo. So he don't have much choice. He has to abide by what she needs from him.
Well, I was gonna ask you, why do you think he didn't object while they were in the house? Like, why didn't he was like, okay, 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 I'll do it, I'll do it.
I mean, because he know what he in for. He know what he
Yeah,
signed up for.
yeah,
And I don't think he knew that like the day of it would be what it has been.
yeah,
Um, but he don't really have a lot of fight in him.
yeah.
For any of this. Like, I got you what you wanted. Cool. I gave you some information. You just gonna keep trying to like bleed this thing until it ain't nothing left. Like, I don't know, but I'll just go ahead and go down to the station.
I know. That's what I was thinking too. Like, you done did your big one already. I feel like what Costello
Right.
got for me. I don't
One
know.
more. One more
Cause you just
is
gonna
you
keep
going
showing up to
to
my house and inviting yourself, and this ain't even my
Yeah.
house. You just
This
gonna
ain't
keep,
right.
you just gonna keep showing
You
up
just
to,
coming up here.
yeah, to the house, and you
And
just,
Liz,
yeah.
sorry.
No, no,
And
no. Go
Liz
ahead.
don't even know his
Oh
involvement
yeah.
with any of this. So you are blowing up my spot. I'm just trying to stay here at my mother-in-law house and, abide
Hmm.
by her rules because she got rules too. Because we'll see more from her here soon. But yeah. So the last scene of episode 5, Michael is down at the police station. He's being questioned. And Detective Costello says, there was some new evidence brought in. And we want to know, where were you on the night that your wife was murdered?
Mm.
So we can assume that the information that was given to them by the guy that was brought in maybe implicates Michael as uh, being around or knowing something about how his wife was
Yeah.
murdered.
Yeah. That's
So
wild.
that's episode 5.
And
Dun, dun.
scene.
Right.
Do you have any takeaways from this episode? Any feelings while you were watching it for the first time?
Well, I feel like Lil Big Mo is she's very much so in control, but I could see the control slipping from out of her hand because I
Mm.
think Little Mo did a lot of the dirty work for her. And now
Mm-hmm.
that he is gone, um, it's only so many cooks that can be in the kitchen, and to try to develop a new person,
Mm-hmm.
um, I would I think my initial thoughts was that she wasn't gonna allow Eugene to go back to Houston, and she was gonna try to build him into a new Lil Mo because he has, if nothing else, he's been to Desire.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they didn't take away his family, but they took away Kofi, which
Man,
got
they
his
took
family.
away his family. Yeah.
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 So that's my initial thought. What
Yeah.
about you?
I got two. I think Lil Mo should go ahead and be a youth pastor. Somebody who's turned their life around. Wasn't expecting that answer, huh?
Not a youth pastor.
He should definitely be a youth pastor and try to steer the youth of Desire away from from joining the Desire crew. And
Huh.
cuz he talks the talk, man. He speaks the lingo. They'll listen to him, you
Yeah, he
know.
got the street cred.
He got the street cred. He said, I escaped with my life, Waldy. That's what I did.
Yeah, he did.
And then the second thing is just a comment about the show overall. I'm just really glad that they don't have a lot of or any sex scenes. Cause sometimes I
Mm,
just feel like shows can just do way too much with the sex. Like this doesn't
yeah,
even add to the plot. What are we talking
right.
about? 50-minute
Yeah,
show
y'all
and
just
10
wanted to
minutes
get
is
that
sex,
out.
bro? Like, come on, man.
Hmm.
You
I
know?
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
It
So
it leaves more meat for the actual like show
yeah.
than. Hmm.
Sometimes it does add a lot of context and everything like that, but it's just like, oh, okay, we get it, bro.
Yeah,
So,
because if I
yeah.
had to see Adam and Fia,
Or Jimmy and
Gina,
Gina.
yeah, nope, I'll pass.
No, thank you. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that's been another episode of the No Cap Recap, Your Honor edition,
No,
episode
okay.
number 5. We still working on the still working on the intro music, guys.
Yeah, if y'all
So
got any ideas, help us out. We got any aspiring rappers? You ain't gotta be aspiring. You could be established.
hey,
Help
this
us.
the No Cap Recap. Hey, No Cap Recap. Hey.
Yeah. Okay.
That was funnier
Thanks for
than
listening,
needed to be.
y'all.
See you guys in
We'll
the
be
next
back.
one. Bye.
Bye.